touch this page. It's a curve, and I'm building this. It's like sculpting. I'm playing with clay. Now, if there's something on here that I don't like, don't go, I'm messed up, man. Oh my gosh, I gotta erase this thing. I gotta start over. Don't just draw right over it. It's a sketch. There are no wrong lines on a sketch. It's just a big series of corrections and improvements. Keep going. These look great. And whatever you do, don't try and make this thing perfect. Have fun. Good to see you. All right, this next step is going to make this a lot easier. I'm going to add some guided lines on it. When we start drawing little Sally's face, these lines are going to give us basically a roadmap to where all these features are going to sit. First one, we call this the center line. From the top of the head to the bottom, very lightly divide this in half. These always bother me as a kid, because as a kid I'm like, wait a minute, these characters don't have these lines on their faces. But as artists, these really help us put things in the right spot. I'm going to add another one that goes right to left. Look at that. Now we know where the center of the shape is. That's where her nose goes. Now the nose, that's the first thing on a face I like to draw. That's pretty much the center of the head. When you really know where that is, it's easier to get the rest of the stuff in the right spot all around it. Now her nose is pretty much just a little letter C. I'm going to have little Sally looking that way. So right on top here, a little C shape. Boop. If you want your Sally to look the other way, point it the other direction. This is totally not going to get any harder, I promise. Does it start to look like Sally yet? Yo, whoa! I didn't think I would get a yeah that early in this. That's awesome. All right, now we're going to wake her up. We're going to put the eyes on. Now her eyes, they line up perfectly with the top of that C curve. Here and here. Keep these real close to the nose. Now those aren't really her eyes. That's just where they're going to go. And these are shaped like two little ovals, like a little apple seed or a little watermelon seed. And here's the one time I really want you to press down with the pencil. Once you got the shape the way you like it, color this thing in really dark. Dark. This should be the darkest part of your picture. That way when your viewer looks at your sketch, they look at that character right in the eye. That pops out and they notice it. They're looking your character in the eye, just like a real actor up on a screen. And since she's a little sister, I'm going to draw her eyebrows perked up. She's always wondering what the bigger kids are up to. Just above the eyes here, a little curve. Boop. You can change the expression of your characters tremendously just by altering these. If you bring them down, they look frumpy. If you bring them way up, they get scared. Now for her ears, these are just two more letter C's. I like to think these are almost like little handles on the side of her head, like a handle on the side of a coffee cup. The top of her ear is going to go right on that line there. Knock that on. A letter C. Now this one over here, I'm going to make this just a little smaller. Then where she's looking that way, her head's turning a little. You're going to see a little more of that ear, a little less of that ear. Make more sense when we're done with this. I love to draw. You guys have fun? Yeah. Drawing is so relaxing. And it's inexpensive. It's my favorite toy when I was a kid, paper and pencil. It still is. All right, now she has got some funky hair. Her hair swoops out to the sides, and in the middle there's a big poof of hair. Now to get that shape of the hair, I'm very lightly, on top of her head, going to draw another circle. This is just where that hair is going to go. It's going to look, well, wait a minute, what's that doing sitting on her head? That's for placement. Drawings are all about building things, not about writing. Writing is about making perfect little marks. All right, I'm going to darken up that head shape, and then we're going to do a hairdo. I'm going to start right by the ear here, and all I'm going to do very lightly, let's go around here and darken this up. See, now we got all this stuff coming together. We call this locking in the shape. Now, Charles Schulz, when he drew the peanut strips for the papers, he would go over them with a dip pen. He would dip his pen in the ink, and he was very known for his wiggly line. There's no straight lines in a Peanuts comic strip. It's kind of the charm of them. I'm going to stop right at that ear there. Very difficult to duplicate for another artist. I have tried many times. And then just above his ear, I'm going to darken this into that circle. Oh, it's okay. Peanuts comic strip first debuted October 2nd in 1950, and it ran all the way through February 13th, 2000. He drew 17,897 individual comic strips, making the Peanuts one of the longest stories ever told. All right, you ready to do some hair? Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is the most fun part, my favorite part. Now we're gonna go a little big here. I'm gonna start right on top of the head, right where the circle's touching her head. And I'm gonna pull a curved line off of here. Boink. There we go. Little sister hair. Think of your own little sister as your drawing her. Artists always try and think of something in real life and put it into their art. Now for the sides, we're gonna draw two stretched out letter S's. That's just gonna close this off. I'll do this side first, and stay sketchy with your line. An S is a curve, and then another curve. It ends just below her ear. There we go. You're basically building a new shape, just like when you made that circle at the very beginning. And this doesn't have to be exactly the same as the other side. This isn't a solid feature like an eye or an ear. Hair moves around as a character moves around. Man, it really moves around on a pig pen. Did you guys know pig pen's here today? Yeah. Oh, I hear he is in the barn over there with a bunch of pigs. Little baby, you can meet little baby pigs in pig pen. How awesome is that? I know that's a good noise. All right, now that's just the shape of it. To make it look like hair, we're gonna have what we artists call texture. And this is just a little detail. On this side, this is very little. I'm just gonna bring some curves off of here. Here we go. It just gives it a little bit more of a hair-like quality. And on this side, Charles Schulz always drew two lines, a big one and a little one. Look at that. There we go. And for the front of her hair, it poofs out, right? It sticks out. The best way to describe this, I'm going to draw a bunch of flower petal shapes. And these are all different sizes. I'm going to start right in the middle here. Think of a little flower petal. She loves me, she loves me. Just fill this thing up. They can bump into each other. And Charles Schulz did this. He would just took the pen and he would squiggle around in here. He just had fun with this. You can see as he did it. She is the perfect little sister. She's adorable and cute when you first see her. If you listen to her, she's actually kind of manipulative and a little greedy. It's true. She even asked Santa Claus for 10s and 20s for Christmas. 10s and 20s, that's what she was. All right, what are we missing on her face? The mouth, absolutely. Now, if you want, you could do this a couple different ways. It's your cartoon. If you want it to look like she's talking, draw an oval in there. If you want it to look like she's just standing there, it's a straight line. Or if you want to look happy, a smile. This is just a curve. Her mouth sits right in the middle there, between the nose and the bottom of the circle. I'm just going to give her a little smile. That looks more like a smirk. Now she's up to something. Always got to watch out for a little sister that's up to something. And to make this just a little more portrait-like, I'm going to draw her neck and her collar line. Now her neck, it goes right below the eyes. These are just two little straight lines. That's a little thick. She's got a skinny neck. She's little. She's a little shorter than the other kids in the comic strip. And then you close this off with a little curve. That's her shirt collar. Sometimes she wears a little dress, two little lines up here. Sometimes she wears a little pink sweater. In fact, you can even add a few little dots on here. She has this little pink sweater with dots on it. Oh snap. You know what? That was the last step. We just did this. There's one last thing we're going to do. Every artist, I think this is important, I think you should all sign your artwork. So right at the bottom here, I'm going to write my name on there. Noel, because that's my name. And you can write your name on there. And you have just drawn Sally. Did you have fun? All right, this is my favorite part of the whole sketch school. I get to see your artwork. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to count to 3, okay? And I want everybody in here to hold up their drawing. Here's what I really want you to do. Look around and see how different all of the artwork is. This is the best thing. We can enjoy some artwork. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sally! You can get your own theme music. Look at this. Got Big Sally over here. Look at, boy, you filled the whole page up, man. Got a doodler. Loving the hairstyle. Oh my gosh, that is confident line work there, Charles. Excellent. Oh my gosh, I love your stuff. Look at you draw. Oh my. Oh, folks, give everyone around you a round of applause.